There are two approaches to line and wash techniques. In fact, I have made an introduction and easy illustration in the past. You can check the links in the description as well as on the screen for those videos. So in this video, I have demonstrated a much more detailed approach to the line and wash technique. And since the weather was quite sunny today, I thought of making the paintings outdoors. So the first demonstration is going to be the line before the wash, meaning I am going to make the sketches before I move on with the watercolor washes. And the materials are Tombow mono drawing pen of 0.5 thickness, and it's a waterproof pen, and my paper is Canson mixed media of 300 grams per square meter. The painting subject for this demonstration is going to be Japanese maple tree. As you can see, I have the plant next to me and I have two versions of this. Well, this is going to be a very casual sketch, even though I have the plant next to me as a reference, but it's going to be a very impressionistic, and I'm going to fully draw the branches as well as the plant stem and leaves fully with this Tombow drawing pen. So as you see up close of the leaf sketch, I would say it's not a very perfect looking sketch, but what I'm trying to do here is to give it a complete look of the entire plant, meaning I'm trying my best to create all those leaves impression. So usually if you make the line sketches before the washes, the sketches usually will be much more detailed. You will see more percentage of the drawing. In other words, you will see a very full sketch of the subject matter that you are going to paint on the entire paper. Whereas in the method where you make the washes first, the painting prior to the pen sketches, there will be less pen sketches which you will be witnessing after I complete this particular demonstration. So once you're done with the pen sketches fully, you might want to leave the entire sketch to set onto the paper for at least 2 to 5 minutes before you start painting them with your watercolor paint. Just in case there are some wet ink stains here and there on your sketch, and also it depends on the type of pens that you are using. So even though the sketching has been quite in detail, I would say I would keep the painting in a very loose style, and usually that adds more character to your painting. So as you paint on the line sketches that you have made earlier, you don't necessarily have to stay within those pen outlines. So just be casual. As long as your pen is a waterproof one, there is no worries about pen ink bleeding and whatsoever. So just paint them in a very loose and casual manner. And you may also consider creating some extra effects using your watercolor. For example, I will be using my water spray to spray onto these outlines that I'm currently painting to achieve some extra effects. As you can see here, that spray has helped the paint to bleed further and create some random movement. So this adds more value to your painting. You may also adjust the look of it. Just use your imagination and the magic wand, which is your watercolor brush, to do the work for you. Since this is a Japanese maple tree, there are some color variations in their leaves, stem, and even the branch of the plant. So I am trying to keep within the warm tones, which range from yellow to orange and various red mixes. And this kind of color variation adds more vibrancy to your painting. Now I have also added some green shades onto some of those maple leaves, and this contrast definitely adds more value to the entire painting. Now I am adding some carmine red, since this is a very reddish looking maple plant where the leaves have a lot of those reddish hint on their leaves, and it has actually transformed the plant painting into a very bright one. So at the end of the day, it's all a matter of your personal choice and preference, how you would like the painting to appear, and just make your adjustments accordingly. Add more colors as you need and enjoy the painting process. And by now you would have realized that I think about 95% of this sketch has been fully painted, and despite all those color mixes that I've made, you can still notice those pen sketches very clearly. And basically this is the usual outcome that you will get when you make a full line sketch or pen sketch before you make your watercolor washes or painting. A little bit of spatters here and there to complete the look of this painting. So I am done with this first technique, and we shall move on to the second method, which is line after wash. Alright, now for the second method, as the name describes it, it's line only after the wash. So I'm kick-starting by painting using my watercolor. Similar to the first one, this is also a very impressionistic and loose style of the maple plant. It's just that in order to create some differences between these two plants painting, I have decided to maintain a brighter look of the painting, whereby I'm going to concentrate more on light green shades as well as yellow. Now the challenging part of making the washes first prior to the pen sketches is that you need to have a much more vast imagination or clear vision of the subject that you are painting, because there's nothing pre-sketched onto the paper prior to the painting process unless you have made a very light pencil sketches. But I hardly come across any artists who do that. If you prefer to do that, then you can solve this problem by making light pencil sketches. However, this method would take away the thrill or fun part, because it is supposed to be washes before you make the sketches. So it's up to you, whichever that makes you happy in the painting process, right? Therefore, in my opinion, I would suggest you to just be carefree and just paint loosely, not worry too much about the shapes, as long as you know the basic coordination of your subject of the painting. For example, I already decide this is going to be a maple tree painting, so obviously I know the basic shapes and the coordination of the stems and leaves. But otherwise, if you notice the way I paint here, I'm not so bothered about the exact shapes of the tree stems as well as the leaves. So I'm going to leave this to dry before I start making the pen sketches. Alright, the sun is quite bright and it has helped my painting to dry completely, and we're good to go with the sketches. Once again, I'm going to use the Tombow Mono drawing pen, and I'm going to kickstart by being very casual and minimalistic in making these sketches. So usually when you make your sketches after the wash, you will realize that there is no need to be very precise with the drawing, because all those washes has done most of the work for you, being very loose and impressionistic. So you want to maintain the same type of vibration. As you can see here, I am very casually drawing lines and the leaf sketches that are not as accurate or perfect as the first method. So at one point of time, you may notice this as just scribbles or doodling. Just to note that since you are sketching on a painting that is already dry and not a wet surface, you may use a non-waterproof pens, as in a fountain pen or a Stabilo liner, and I have made a video on that, so do check it out if you're interested to know more about it. And since the weather was getting even hotter when I did this painting, so I've skipped the recording of some part of the sketch process to fast forward this entire demonstration. However, I am just sharing here some of the ways that you could make your sketches more interesting by adding some lines as in highlighting a dark area of the entire painting. I'm just making some crisscross drawings as well as some swirls or cursives, just to add more character in the entire sketch. So you don't have to limit it to just drawing the basic shapes. You can just add some shadings using your pen as well. Even a simple mark as in dark dots can create an impression and a variation in your painting. At the end of the day, it's your canvas, so use your imagination, as I mentioned earlier during the first method demonstration, and don't forget to have fun with your sketch. In fact, you can use colorful pens if you like to see more colors on your painting and pen sketch, even though I am just demonstrating using a black ink over here. Almost done with this painting and sketch, and there you go. So I hope you would have understood by now how to approach the line and wash technique. So it is not a very difficult way of painting. It's just a matter of how you approach the painting process as well as understanding your materials or art supply when you attempt to make these paintings. So if you have become a fan of my work, then don't forget to hit the like and share button as well as subscribe to my channel. And hope to see you all again in another exciting tutorial and demonstration. Bye.